everyone. Welcome to our third week of Tuesday Tea with me, Alisha Bowker Mudrock, and I have Laura Paulsgrove today as my special guest this month. I'm highlighting different women that have been influential in my life, but who also are doing really incredible things for other women through their work, through their lives, and their communities, and beyond. Laura currently is down in Southern California. That is where we met. We've known each other for too many years to say out loud, or we will definitely date ourselves, but it's been a very long time. She has two beautiful kids, she's married, and she is an incredible hairstylist. So Laura did my hair for so many years that when I finally moved and she moved and it just didn't work anymore, it took me, I just didn't get my hair done for a while because there was really a lot of trauma in losing her. She's incredibly talented. And she's worked for herself doing, women's hair, styles for weddings, tons of different things that she'll tell us more about. And now she owns her own business and is bringing even more beauty and love to people all over. So welcome and thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Leash.
I'd love to hear a little bit just about what are you up to and what's that journey to becoming a business owner, making these changes kind of been, and give us a little insight.
Yeah. So about 6 years ago, after I had my second child, my son, I started transitioning out of doing hair and going more into wigs and hair toppers. I met a friend who had her own business and she trained me in all how to do it. And it's been such a huge blessing because I wanted to be able to stay at home with my kids and be able to work, in my own time and have more freedom. And so I started doing that 6 years ago and have loved it. It's been such an outlet for my creativity and also me personally as an introvert, being able to be at home and just take my time and,
Your
not
model
be in
doesn't talk to you.
Yes, they don't talk back. They don't talk back, which is really nice. And so that's what I've been up to. And I worked for a couple different larger companies this whole time, and it's been wonderful. And honestly, I had no plans of creating my own business. In fact, I kind of was shying away from that for a long time. And I just thought it would be too much work. And I was like, no, I'm good. And then this past year, last year in May, I was just really busy with doing other companies' wigs and toppers, and I would get lots of feedback from people saying hey, can you work on my wig? And I'm like, well, I'm working on this, and it just kind of hit me that I could have a lot more freedom and do exactly what I want to do and make more money.
Which is good because it's your work, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah. And then too, both my kids were in school. So that really helped me go, okay, I have the time now to focus on this. And then I saw other people doing it and I was like, well, I can do that. I think when it's bigger companies, you're like, oh, I could never do that. But when you see people independently doing it on their own and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I could do that. And I think a lot of times creative people think, well, I can't really do the business side of it. But I was like, well, I can get help with that. And I just, I was like, I'll just figure it out, see what happens. So yeah, that was kind of what made me start doing it. And before that, I had started working as a makeup artist and doing a little bit more of selling makeup. And that helped me kind of get out of my shell and realize that I can be uncomfortable and try new things. And so it was kind of this whole journey of confidence building and stepping outside of my comfort zone. And so, yeah, it's been, gosh, almost a year now that I started my wig and hair topper business. And it's been great. It's been hard. It's been challenging, but in a really good way.
That's so awesome. And I love that thread of you building up your own confidence to get you to that next level each time, while outwardly you are bringing confidence to women, right? By getting your hair done, you always feel more confident or better after, or makeup. So it's just interesting too that even if your job was about instilling that perhaps in people, that it was something you were still working on yourself. It wasn't just you automatically
Yeah.
had it just because you did
No. And honestly,
these
yes.
things, you know?
Yes. And the more people I meet and more people I talk to, I've met so many people through my business. It's a people business.
Yeah.
Everyone's insecure. Like nobody knows what they're doing, especially in the beginning. You know, we're all learning and growing. And even if someone looks very confident on the outside, they can be dealing with so many insecurities on the inside. And I think that's just a universal truth.
Yes. Yes. 100%. Um, what can you tell us what a wig topper is? Like, who would want one and why? Because I know
Yes,
what a
you
wig
could have
is,
like
but
brought one up
what
here
is
with
that?
me upstairs. But so a wig topper, it's kind of like a hair extension that
Okay.
goes on the top of your head right here.
Hmm.
So it has little clips. There's a couple different kinds. There's really small ones. There's ones that fit almost your whole head and
Okay.
can like almost look like a wig. And so it's just like you know how hair extensions have the little clippies on them?
Yeah.
So there's like 4 clips most of the time. When you go here, here, a lot of times you leave your own like front hair out on it.
Okay.
So it can, for people who have hair loss, it's great, but for people who also just want a little bit more body volume, a different color, a different haircut, if you want bangs, you know,
Ah,
I always say like, don't cut your bangs, like just get a hair
right. Like,
topper, you
let's see
know,
how you feel about this over here first. Let's
try the
commit.
hair topper.
Yeah.
So I think it's becoming way more common just for people even who don't have hair loss to do it.
Yeah.
People like the Kardashians and stuff are wearing wigs all the time now. A lot of people will bring in hair colors. I want this hair color, and you're like, that's a wig.
Right. Right.
But
That's
yeah,
not my hair.
hair toppers are a great way to kind of like um, try alternative hair without it being a full wig. So for people that want to, and if you have like roots and you want to cover your roots, just like put the hair topper on. It's super fun.
Great. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I was just curious. I'm like, I know kind of
Yeah.
it, but I'm not sure
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
Why might
Yeah.
one want one? So what do you think has been maybe one of the most significant challenges you've kind of had to overcome or navigate on this
Right.
journey?
I think it's always the mental challenges for me. So I think perfectionism is a huge challenge for me. I'm really great at making wigs and toppers look beautiful, but then I question like, okay, but then I have to have the perfect looking website and I have to have the beautiful packaging. And that could have very well stopped me
Yeah,
starting,
moving forward. Mm-hmm.
from even starting my own company. And instead I was like, okay, let go of the perfectionism, just do it imperfectly
Mm-hmm.
and take it one step at a time. And it's okay. Like anything like this, you're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And you just have to go for it. And you just have to show up where you're at and it'll grow over time. But I think that for a long time, that stopped me from doing a lot of things.
Mm,
So definitely just the mental aspect of, well, I don't really know what I'm doing, or,
yeah.
what if people criticize me, or what
Yeah.
if I make a mistake, or what if, and those things are going to happen. And so I think the mental resilience had to grow for me to be able to do this for sure.
Yeah. No, that's something I've had to learn and deal with as well. I am quite the perfectionist, and I had my therapy business, which I'd done for so long. And in therapy, there's a lot more rules. So it was a good
Yeah.
checklist. I'm like, well, I'm not allowed to do that, or I have to do this,
Yes.
or this is how I
Yeah.
get clients. So it
Right.
felt more containing. But then now entering into like the coaching world, and as I'm growing and getting new ideas, it's definitely more free, and that
Yeah.
can feel terrifying for someone who likes rules and order. And like imperfect action is action, and I think that's what I've had
Yes.
to tell myself a ton, because without it, you'll get paralyzed by the overwhelm. It's the best antidote to overwhelm, is to just do
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
And even if it's imperfectly done, I'm learning it isn't the end of the world, and it actually like helps you learn and get
Yeah.
more. The more you do something, the more you can figure it out, because even if you
Yeah.
have a vision, I think you still don't know what you don't know. And part of
Right.
that is experience, trial and error.
Yep.
I heard this thing on a podcast or something the other day where they said, it's the C students that are multi-billionaires, and it's the A students that end up working for them. And I was like, oh, I will be the exception to that rule. I don't want to be the one working for them. But it's so true, because the C students like, I can fail, I can succeed, I'll try. And
Yeah.
like, we're so risk adverse because I want it to be
Yeah.
like done really well and right. And
Yeah.
it's limiting, and like it really can, like you said, prevent you from even having the company you've had now for a year
Yep.
that's doing so well and like so worth it, if you had
Yep.
gotten stuck on like the label,
Yeah.
but it's such a real thing, and that can
Yeah.
translate to a lot of areas of life too. So I think that's such a good reminder for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Not be our own worst
definitely.
enemy.
Yes, yes. I think we all have kind of like an internal setting of what's comfortable for us, what we're used to. And even good change is hard.
Yeah.
Even that, like, okay, this is going to be good for me. It's just like you have to slowly get out of your comfort zone, and then that level becomes comfortable, and then that level becomes comfortable. And it's just this process. And then also realizing that all of everything that came before is getting you to that next level as well. So, like, all the mistakes, all of the hard,
Yeah.
everything you've done, even if it's not even the same, like for you, obviously life coaching and therapy is in the same area, but like everything we've done in our lives up until now has
Right.
created like who we are now and able to do
Yeah.
things. And so
Exactly.
realizing that all counts and it's all good. It's
Yeah.
like it's not like a
We all need
straight line, it's very much like back and forth, up and down,
it.
and you don't have to be stuck in a certain space mentality and say, well, this is just who I am, or this is what I do. It's you have to like let go of all of the limiting beliefs and just like, okay, this is where I am now. This is what I feel called to do right now. And just like,
Yep.
just go for it. And it's going to look kind of sloppy for a while, but like, you'll get there.
But people love it and they're still coming back. So therefore I'm doing something right. Right. Like I'm still
Yes.
having customers, like there's demand. And
Yes.
and I think for you too, like all those years of like growing your knowledge, like the coloring of the wig is like you're like, I can do that in my sleep, right? But you had to
Yes.
like become very confident in your
Right.
abilities in that realm through lots of like practice and years of
Yeah.
experience to do
Yeah.
that part in your sleep to make the
Yeah.
other more challenging stuff even like now it all can fit on the table because we're not learning it
Right.
all at once. Like you could have
Yes.
been like, I've been coloring hair for 2 weeks and I'm gonna do that. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I don't
Yeah.
know where to start. I don't know what to
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
So it is so beautiful how all these things we never imagined that in our future,
Yeah.
how it all
Yeah.
is like set us up for the next thing. And it's a really
Right.
feeling. You're
Yeah.
like, oh,
And so,
that's
yeah, don't limit
great.
yourself. Like, I definitely was like, I'm never going to own my own business. I told myself that so many times. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm a creative. I'm not a business owner. Like, I just like peg myself as that. And you
Yeah.
just change so much as you grow. So just
Yeah.
allow yourself to evolve into
Yeah.
whatever.
Whatever comes next. I love
Yep.
that.
Yep.
So I think, you brought that word up creative, like how have you found that creativity has helped with connection to specifically like other women? And how would you say your role, like both in the office, your studio,
Mhm.
and out of it, how would you say you're sort of like finding ways to empower or connect or uplift women in your personal, professional sort of world?
Yeah. Yeah, I think my specific business, like you said, is very empowering and helping women, losing your hair or not feeling like yourself. Hair is huge. And so being able to give women hope that they're going to feel like themselves again and even feel more beautiful than they've ever felt by like creating a wig or a topper, like that's really cool. I mean, working with a lot of people with hair loss have had health issues, and so working with people that are going through those things and just being able to, yeah, give them that hope and a little bit of joy. It's much more connecting than I thought it was going to be. And I
Mhm.
think being able to give empathy in those moments is really powerful too. And then as far as like people in my own industry as well, I think encouragement is huge, and not necessarily in my industry, but just in business or social media or whatever. I think we all just need as much encouragement as possible. And so I don't see anybody as like competition. I see all women as just someone that I want to build up and encourage. So if I see someone's beautiful work online, like I'm going to make a point to like it, share it,
Mhm.
comment, because I know
Yeah.
what it takes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a very vulnerable thing to like put your work out there and to share your creativity. And
Yeah.
so it's very scary and vulnerable. And
Yeah.
so I want to be like a cheerleader and an encourager as much as possible to anybody out there doing their thing. And so and then too, like in hair, it used to be like you don't share your formulas or you don't share, yeah, your secrets or whatever. I feel like our generation has been really good at just being very open, having like more of an abundance mindset of like
Yeah.
there's more than enough. Like we don't have to fight over people or whatever, so, giving out free education, is what a lot of people are doing now online. So I try to do that whenever possible. So yeah, I think just it's been very connecting to share my creativity online, and then other people wanting to, ask questions and, learn more about it. And it's been a lot of fun.
I love that. Yeah, we talked about that even just 2 weeks ago when I had my dear friend Cecilia on. Just that like there's room for everyone at the table,
Yeah.
and how it's like actually connection is essential, especially amongst women, and how that competitive, what's the word I'm looking for, kind of wary, cagey mentality. Like
Yeah.
we understand why we've been so socialized to fall
Yeah.
into that, or where the mistruths come from. But
Yeah.
it's like, how can we all actively not hopefully perpetuate those things for like your daughter or other
Yeah.
younger generations, but just like also unlearn this bad lessons we've learned. And there it like and it's like therapy, like there's so many hairstylists, there's so many wigs to choose from, but like not everyone's for everyone.
Yeah.
So, I want your vibe, like someone
Mhm.
doesn't love it, cool, that's why there's so and so who does whatever, right? It's like we all have preferences and different needs, and
Right.
so there isn't
Yeah.
ever one person that can do it all for everyone, where we have to hoard.
Right.
And it
Yes.
isn't a threat because Cindy down the road, who's doing more
Mhm.
color and funky styles that aren't as
Yeah.
natural looking, like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're like, I wouldn't be the one for that. Like, she's actually
Right.
gonna give you that in a different
Yeah.
energy for her, for your more natural, your blondes or
Right.
whatever else. And so I think we need all of it. And that's
Yes.
and that's what I
Yes,
think we
we
can
all can't do it all. Like, we're not
Mhm.
like, I'm limited,
Yeah.
like I only have a certain amount of time and energy. So if I can help another person's business grow, great. Like, I think we grow and we rise by lifting others.
Mhm.
I think it's just so much more powerful to empower others than it is to try and like keep it all for ourselves. That's just, it's not possible.
Nope, not at all. And I
Mhm.
think it's really inspiring the work you're doing for women, especially like you said. I can think of such how just like how hard it is to feel not
Yeah.
outwardly the way that you want to feel, or to be self-conscious about something, or to
Yeah.
have to change something dramatically, like let's say you're going through cancer treatments or things where you like
Yeah.
now don't have a choice about the length of your hair or having hair or whatever else. and
Yeah.
and those things, when we feel so powerless, just these little
Yeah.
bits that we can control or help us feel more
Yeah.
empowered, so essential. And what a cool.
It's interesting because I do see like a lot of women who lose their hair at first. It's a very like powerless feeling, and then they go through this journey. It's been amazing to watch them go through this journey of like taking their power back, and a lot of them end up like shaving their heads
Yeah.
or just fully committing to wearing wigs and not being ashamed about it and showing up online in that way. And it's really amazing to see how you can go from feeling powerless to then empowered, and then helping others feel empowered in their journey.
Right.
And it's a whole community of women who have been through this really hard thing, every
Mhm.
age, super young kids and then
Yeah.
older. So it's really been a very cool thing to be a part of and see.
That's so awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us today, and just hearing about your beautiful creations and the gifts and skills you have and how you're using them to give back and also learn more about yourself and gain that confidence in yourself. And I'm so proud of you for starting your own business and saying you never were going to have one. That's
I
an
You never
achievement.
know. Never say never.
Never. I know. Well, I never thought I would own my own business either, and here I own two. So I totally can respect that journey too. It's like, what's one more? No, but
I
but
know.
never did
It's
I
so
think
it's
I'd be here.
addictive, right?
Yeah,
You're
I'm
like,
like,
oh, I
what
can do
can I
this.
do?
Yeah.
um, so where can people find you? How
So
can
my
they want a
Instagram
wig?
is my main, like if you message me on Instagram, you're gonna be able to find me. So it's at SoCal Waves Wigs. And then also you can go to the link in my bio and my website's right there, but it's SoCal Waves Wigs .square.site.
Okay,
And then I also have a TikTok, it's all connected. So if you find me on Instagram, you'll be able
wonderful.
to. So
Okay,
yeah.
great. And in the newsletter, I did like hyperlink. I think if you click on her picture and there's another part to click on, it will take you to Laura's Instagram, and you can dive in more. Or if you get lost, feel free to email me and I will connect you with her directly. But I appreciate your time. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
And
Thank you. Well,
I
you're doing
will,
amazing, and I'm so proud of you.
thanks,
Keep
thanks.
keep going.
We're doing it. Just like you said, learning as we go. Like what's the
Yep.
next thing?
Yep.
So here's to many more future potential collaborations. But it's great to see your face and I
You
appreciate your time
too.
today.
Bye.